Dear students, Namaste and welcome back to a new mathematics session. In today's session, we shall begin a new chapter, that is probability. Let's move on to the topic. First of all, from the chapter probability, let's recall what we have learned so far. Probability is the measure of uncertainty of events in a random experiment. So, here we have learned in class 11 that probability is the measure of chance or uncertainty of events in a random experiment. And here there are two terms we must be familiar with, that is random experiment and another one is events. Random experiment means the result of an experiment which cannot be predicted beforehand. In an experiment, if the result is not or cannot be predicted beforehand, then we can say that experiment is a random experiment. And random experiments, we have learned some examples: tossing a fair coin, rolling of fair dice, etc. And sample space, results of random experiment. What are the possible results we get from the random experiment? By collecting all, we will form a set, that is sample space. Usually we represent by using the letter capital S. Next is events. Events also we have learned. Events mean subsets of sample space. So sample space we used to write by collecting all the possible outcomes of the random experiment, and the events we will make by collecting the elements from the sample space. And we have learned the normal probability formula. P of A is equal to N of A divided by N of S. And P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. And we also learned P of A complement is equal to 1 minus P of A. There are some other terms we have learned in class 11, that is mutually exclusive events, exhaustive events, and some other formulas. So it is better if you revise all these formulas. It will be useful for you. From the probability chapter, first we must learn about conditional probability. Here we can split it into two. First one is condition, another one is probability. We have just now recalled about how to calculate the probability of simple events, that is probability formula, favorable number of outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. Here not the simple probability it is mentioning, it is about the conditional probability. Let's define it first. Conditional probability is a measure of the probability of an event occurring given that another event has already occurred. This can be considered as the condition because one event is already occurred. Then we have to find out the probability of the other event after occurring the first one. That is what the conditional probability. For getting more clarity, let's take an example. There is a situation. Let's think of a situation. A family has two children. There are two children in the family, and the possibilities are sample space. We can say S is equal to girl, girl. First one is girl, second one also girl. First one is a girl, second one is a boy. First one is a boy and the second one is a girl. Both are boys. And here, let A be an event. That means A already we know something, that is the condition here, already occurred. Means there is a girl in the family. We must know that there is a girl in the family. There is a girl, one girl in the family, already we know. Means A is equal to, the event A is equal to, if there is a girl in the family means this possibility is gone. That means both boys cases are not there because already there is a girl. That means both boys will not be there. So the remaining possibilities will be coming here, that is GG, GB and BG. Next one is B, both the children are girls. Next event we are taking, both the children are girls. That means from here both the children are girls in the sense there is only one possibility, that is G and G. Here A we have taken as an event that there is a girl in the family. That is already happened. We must know that there is a girl in the family. That means the outcomes are like this. And second one is both the children are girls. That means this is the outcome. Now probability of B given A, in the sense probability of both the children are girls given that A, given that A in the sense the first one is a girl. Probability of both are girls given that the first one is a girl. So read by probability of B given A is equal to, the formula is there, P of A intersection B divided by P of A. P of A intersection B in the sense, you can see there A and B, when you consider A intersection B is this one because it is there in both the sets. So set of GG. Then P of A intersection B in the sense there is only one element. Total elements in the sample space there is 4. So 1 divided by 4. Next one is P of A we have to calculate. P of A in the sense A there are 3 elements and the total number of elements in the sample space is 4. So 3 divided by 4. That is P of B given A is equal to, P of A intersection B we have calculated, we'll put that is 1 by 4 divided by 3 by 4. So 4 will be cancelled. The final answer P of B given A is equal to 1 divided by 3. So this is the way we calculate the conditional probability. Means here P of B given A in the sense probability of both the children are girls given that the first one is a girl. So let's define the conditional probability little more clear way. That is, if E and F are two events associated with the sample space of a random experiment, the conditional probability of the event E given that F has occurred. The conditional probability of the event E given that F has occurred is P of E given F. We just write P of E by F, but we read as P of E given F is given by the formula P of E given F is equal to P of E intersection F, intersection probability of the intersection of these two, P of E intersection F divided by P of F. What comes after given, that will come as the denominator, provided P of F not equal to 0. So when conditional probability comes, here you can see A is equal to set of GG, GB and BG. And here when you compare with the sample space, once a particular thing is already happened, then this sample space will reduce to this one. So you can see here this sample space after there is a girl in the family means this BB is gone. Means the sample space is reduced to 3 elements GG, BG and GB. And both the children are girls in the sense probability B is equal to set of GG. And when you calculate probability of B given A in the sense, you can see here directly we can calculate by using these two. This will considered as this can be considered as the sample space. So you can see their intersection, that is GG, there is only one element out of these 3 elements. So P of B given A is equal to 1 divided by 3. Next we shall discuss the properties of conditional probability. Here we have to discuss about 3 properties. Let E and F be events of a sample space S of an experiment. Then we have first property, probability of S given F is equal to probability of F given F is equal to 1. Here S is a sample space and F is a subset. Probability of S given F is equal to probability of F given F is equal to 1. This is the first property. Let's see how this property is derived. Probability of S given F is equal to, by using the conditional probability definition, we can say that the probability of S intersection F divided by probability of F. Since S is a sample space and F is a subset, S intersection F, this can be considered as a universal set by using set theory. So S intersection F, surely it is F. So P of F divided by P of F, denominator is P of F. So P of F and P of F can be cancelled and we will get the answer as 1. Next is P of F given F. P of F given F is equal to, by using the conditional probability formula, P of F intersection F divided by denominator, that is P of F. Here also F intersection F means P of F only, divided by P of F is equal to 1. So we can come to the conclusion P of S given F is equal to P of F given F is equal to 1. Second property, if A and B are any two events of a sample space S and F is an event of S such that P of F not equal to 0, then here you can see A and B are any two events of a sample space S and F is an event of S. So these are the condition, and P of F not equal to 0, then P of A union B given F is equal to P of A given F plus P of B given F minus P of A intersection B given F. Once again, P of A union B given F is equal to P of A given F plus P of B given F minus P of A intersection B given F. Let's see the derivation. P of A union B given F is equal to, by using the conditional probability definition, you can say P of E intersection F is equal to, sorry, P of E given F is equal to P of E intersection F divided by P of F. Same way, P of A union B given F is equal to intersection of these two sets. P of A union B intersection F divided by denominator, that is P of F. Then P of A union B, sorry, P of A intersection F union P of B intersection F. This can be removed, that is by using the formula A union B intersection F is equal to A intersection F union B intersection F. This formula you have studied in class 11. A union B intersection F is equal to A intersection F union B intersection F. That's what it is written. Divided by denominator is P of F. Then here P of A union B format. P of A union B we have learned P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B, distributive law. So when you split it, P of A intersection F, it's written here, then plus P of B intersection F, it's written here, minus intersection of these two, that is P of A intersection B intersection F. So that is written here, minus P of A intersection B intersection F divided by the denominator, that is P of F. We can just write the reason as the distributive law, then we can split the denominator, that is P of A intersection F divided by P of F, P of B intersection F divided by P of F minus P of A intersection B intersection F divided by P of F. When you see the first one, it is quite clear, it is a conditional probability, that is P of A given F. Next one is the probability of B given F. Third one is the probability of A intersection B given F. So first one is P of A given F, next one is B given F, third one is A intersection B given F. When A and B are disjoint sets, you know that disjoint sets means there will be no intersection, no common elements, means this will be 0. That is P of A intersection B given F is equal to 0. So P of A union B given F is equal to, only reduced to this one, P of A given F plus P of B given F, provided A and B are disjoint events. Property number 3, that is P of E naught given F is equal to 1 minus P of E given F. Once again, probability of E naught given F is equal to 1 minus P of E given F. Let's see the derivation. P of S given F, we know that it is 1. It is learned from by using property 1. P of S given F, S is a sample space, F is a subset. So P of S given F is equal to 1. Then P of E union E naught given F is equal to 1. P of E union E naught, that is E union E naught is S, a complement of two set, that will be surely a sample space. So P of E union E naught given F is equal to 1. That is P of E given F plus P of E naught given F by using this formula, that is P of A union B given F is equal to P of A given F plus P of B given F, provided A and B are disjoint sets. Surely E and E dash are disjoint sets because there will be no common element, because one is a complement of another one. So we can write it as P of E given F plus P of E naught given F is equal to 1. Reason, E and E dash are disjoint events. So from here we can write P of E naught given F is equal to, this can be taken to the right side, that is 1 minus P of E given F. So this is the property number 3. Next we shall discuss the exercise questions. First question from exercise 13.1. The question is, given that E and F are even such that P of E is equal to 0.6, P of F is equal to 0.3 and P of E intersection F is equal to 0.2. Find P of E given F and P of F given E. So simply a direct question. Let's write down the given condition. P of E is 0.6, P of F is 0.3, P of E intersection F is 0.2. We have to calculate P of E given F. Formula we have to write P of E given F is equal to P of E intersection F divided by P of F. So P of E intersection F is given to us, that is 0.2 divided by P of F is given to us 0.3. So when you divide it or you just multiply 10 in the numerator and denominator, it becomes 2 divided by 3. Second question, that is second part of the question, P of F given E. So P of F given E is equal to P of E intersection F divided by P of F, this one. Sorry, P of E, this is the one. So P of E intersection F divided by P of E. That is equal to P of E intersection F, we know that it is 0.2 divided by P of E. P of E is 0.6. As before, you can just multiply 10 in the numerator and denominator. It comes as 2 by 6. And again, there is 2 common in both numerator and denominator. We can cancel it. It comes as 1 divided by 3. Second question, compute P of A given B if P of B is equal to 0.5 and P of A intersection B is equal to 0.32. We are asked to calculate P of A given B. So, given conditions we have to write P of B is given to us 0.5 and P of A intersection B is given to us 0.32. That is, what we have to calculate is P of A given B. P of A given B is equal to P of A intersection B divided by P of B. From the formula directly we can write, that is P of A intersection B is 0.32, that is given to us from the question, and P of B, that is 0.5. That is equal to, when you multiply it in the numerator and denominator by 10, so you can, 100, you can just, it will come as 32 divided by 50. 32 by 50, when you just cancel 2, it will come as 16. 32 divided by 2, that is 16. Divided by 50 divided by, that is 25. So 16 by 25. You can directly do it as a mental calculation, or if you feel difficulty, just do it in a piece of rough paper. That's all. Next we shall discuss question number 3. If P of A is equal to 0.8, P of B is equal to 0.5 and P of B given A is equal to 0.4, find, there are 3 sub questions, P of A intersection B, P of A given B and P of A union B. First of all, let's write the given things. P of A 0.8, P of B 0.5, P of B given A 0.4. Here, first we have to calculate P of A intersection B. For that, we need to take this one, P of B given A, because P of A is not carrying A intersection B, P of B also not carrying A intersection B. So, but P of B given A formula carries A intersection B. So, let's take that one. P of B given A is equal to 0.4. Formula we can write P of A intersection B divided by P of A, denominator. P of A is equal to 0.4. Substitute it. P of A intersection B by P of A is 0.8 equal to 0.4. When you cross multiply it, P of A intersection B is equal to 0.8 into 0.4, that is 0.32. Next one, P of A given B we have to calculate. Write the formula. P of A given B is equal to P of A intersection B by P of B. That is equal to P of A given B is equal to P of A intersection B. P of A intersection B we have calculated and kept here, that is 0.32. 0.32 by denominator is P of B. P of B is 0.5. Since here all calculations are in decimal form, you can just divide and write the answer in decimal form, that is 0.64. Then third part, that is P of A union B. There is a formula we have just recalled. P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. All values are there. Substitute it. P of A is 0.8, P of B is 0.5 and P of A intersection B is 0.32. When you do the calculation, it will come as 0.68. Then question number 4. Question is, evaluate P of A union B if 2 P of A is equal to P of B is equal to 5 by 13 and P of A given B is equal to 2 by 5. Here two conditions are together, it is given to us. Let's take that one. 2p of a is equal to p of b is equal to 5 by 13. Let's split it. 2p of a is equal to 5 by 13. Then from here p of a we can calculate. P of a is equal to 5 by, this 2 will come here, that is 5 by 26. 2 into 13, 26. P of b, it is clear for us, 5 by 13, right as it is. Then for calculating P of A union B, we know the P of A union B formula. This is the one, P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. P of A, P of B is there, but A intersection B is not there. For that only this condition is given to us. Let's take that one. P of A given B is equal to 2 by 5. P of A given B formula, P of A intersection B by P of B is equal to 2 by 5. Substitute it. P of A intersection B is equal to this P of B I am taking to here. Cross multiplication, that is 2 by 5 into P of B. Why I am multiplying this one to cross multiplication, or why P of B is taken to this side, in the sense P of B is a fraction. Here when you can see here P of B is 5 by 13. When you put 5 by 13 here, it comes as denominator's denominator. One more step will be coming. That's why we are taking this one to here, and then when it reach here, just multiply it. 2 by 5 into 5 by 13. So 5 cancel, you will get the answer as 2 by 13. So this is P of A intersection B. So now all the things are ready. P of A is there, P of B is there, P of A intersection B is there. So we can now calculate P of A union B by writing the formula P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Let's substitute it. P of A we have 5 by 26. P of B we have 5 by 13. P of A intersection B we have 2 by 13. Substituted. Take 26 as LCM. That means here 5 only will be coming. Here 2 will be multiplied. So 2 into 5, 10. Here also 2 will be multiplied. That is 2 into 2, 4. That is equal to 5 plus 10, 15 minus 4. That is 11 by 26. So P of A union B we have got as 11 by 26. Next, move on to question number 5. Question is, if P of A is equal to 6 by 11, P of B is equal to 5 by 11, and P of A union B is equal to 7 by 11, find first one P of A intersection B, second one P of A given B, and third one P of B given A. So try this question as homework. Determine P of E given F in exercises 6 to 9. You are asked to find out P of E given F. Question number 6. A coin is tossed 3 times where E and F are defined. E is head on third toss. F means heads on first 2 tosses. E at least 2 heads. F at most 2 heads. E at most 2 tails. F at least 1 tail. So here a coin is tossed 3 times. Means 2 power 3. There are 8 elements in the sample space. So the sample space is set of all HHH, HHT, HTH, HTT, THH, THT, TTH, and all 3 T's, TTT. So this we have already learned in class 11 how to write the sample space if 3 coin is tossed, or a coin is tossed 3 times. First one, E. E is head on third toss. So you have to see all the third elements. That is here H. Head on the third toss. That means here H is there, and head on the third toss there is HTH. This will come. That is written. And again here third toss head is there. That also is there. And again here third toss head is there. So these elements, 4 elements. And F is head on first 2 tosses. So F is equal to first 2 tosses head. When the first 2 toss means here head is there. So H will be coming. And thereafter here first 2H and 1 more T. So HHT. So there is no other cases which are having first 2 heads. So these are the only 2 elements. So we are asked to find out P of E given F. P of E given F, we know the formula P of E intersection F divided by P of F. So E intersection F we have to calculate E and F common element. E and F common element is HHH. So that is written. Then we have to go for finding the probability P of F is equal to. There are 2 elements, and in the sample space there are 8 elements. So 2 divided by 8, that is equal to, if you cancel 2, we will get as 1 by 4. Then P of E intersection F we have to calculate. P of E intersection F is equal to, E intersection F is having 1 element and the sample space is having 8 elements. So 1 divided by 8. 1 out of 8. That is the probability of E intersection F. So P of E given F, let's write the formula. P of E intersection F divided by P of F. Substitute it. E intersection F we are having 1 by 8. 1 by 8 divided by P of F. P of F is 1 by 4. So here 1 by 8 divided by 1 by 4. When we simplify it, we will get as 4 divided by 8. Denominator will go to the numerator. So 4 divided by 8, and 4 and 8 we can cancel, and we will get as 1 by 2. So the first part answer is ready. Then we'll go with the second question. E, at least 2 heads. At least 2 heads means minimum 2 heads. Minimum 2 heads in the sense 3 head also can be taken. So one element, and here HHT, at least means minimum 2 heads. Only one head we cannot take. So here HHT is taken, HTH is taken, then here THH is taken. The remaining all are having only one head. So these elements we cannot take. Here there is no head, that also cannot be taken. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. Next, let's try for F. F at most 2 heads means maximum 2 heads. Maximum 2 heads means 3 heads cannot be taken. So this will go. This will be going. Then HHT maximum 2, it's okay. Then here also maximum 2 heads, it's okay. Then HTT maximum 2 head means 1 also, it's okay, no problem. So HTT will be taken. Then here THH can be taken, THT can be taken, TTH can be taken. Then triple T also can be taken, because at most 2 heads, maximum 2 heads means 0 also no problem, 1 also no problem, 2 also no problem, but more than 2 not possible. So only this portion is removed. HHH is removed. The balance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements for F. As before, let's go for E intersection F. E intersection F means there is common elements. Here HHT is common, then HTH is common, then here THH is common. So 3 elements common it is written. Then P of E intersection F. P of E intersection F means E intersection F is having 3 elements. 3. Then total number of elements in the sample space, that is 8. So 3 divided by 8, that is the probability. Then P of F we need to calculate. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements in F. So F divided by total number of elements in the sample space, that is 8. So 7 divided by 8. P of E given F is equal to P of E intersection F divided by P of F. Common formula, just to substitute the values. 3 by 8 divided by 7 by 8. 8 common denominator can be cancelled, and the final answer we will get as 3 by 7. Third question. At most 2 tails and F is at least 1 tail. So let's write E, that is at most 2 tails, and F is at least 1 tail. So here is the sample space. From this sample space you have to write E and F. Then E intersection F you have to calculate. Then P of E intersection F and P of F can be calculated. And by using P of E given F formula, you have to find out the probability of P of E given F. So that portion you will do it as homework. Move on to question number 7. 2 coins are tossed once, where E, tail appears on one coin. F, one coin shows head. E, no tail appears, and F, no head appears. So 2 coins are tossed. Let's write the sample space. There are 4 elements, 2 power 2, 4 elements. It's quite familiar for us to write the sample space for tossing 2 coins, HH, HT, TH, and TT. And E, tail appears on one coin. The E is equal to one coin is getting tail. So HT, TH. Next is one coin shows head. So same element only, TH and HT. So HT and TH it is written. So one element or one coin shows head. One coin shows head in the sense this will not come, this also will not come. Here 2 heads and here it is 2 tails. So we have to go for finding E intersection F, because we are asked to calculate P of E given F. P of E given F formula we know, P of E intersection F divided by P of F. So E intersection F we have to calculate. 2 elements also common, so HT, TH will be coming. Go for writing the probability. P of F is equal to, there are 2 elements in the set and 4 elements in the sample space. So 2 divided by 4. 2 by 4 when you divide, you will get as 1 by 2. Then E intersection F means here also two elements are there, HT and TH. In the sample space there are four elements. So 2 by 4, that is equal to 1 by 2. P of E given F is equal to P of E intersection F by P of F. That is equal to E intersection F, that is 1 by 2 divided by P of F is also 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 divided by 1 by 2 is 1. Next question, E is no tail appears, means T should not be there. T should not be there means here T is there, here T is there, here T is there. So these three will not come, only H will be there. Then no head appears means H will not come. So this will go, this will go, this will go. Only TT will be there. So that is F, TT. E intersection F, when we consider, there is no common element, 5 will be there. P of F, when we calculate, there is only one element out of 4 in the sample space. So 1 divided by 4. Then P of E intersection F means you know that there is no element, so it is 0. P of E given F is equal to P of E intersection F by P of F. E intersection F we know 0 divided by 1 by 4, that is equal to 0. So P of E given F is 0. Next we shall discuss question number 8. A die is thrown 3 times. E 4 appears on third toss. F 6 and 5 appears respectively on first 2 tosses. Here a die is thrown 3 times. So sample space is a little bit huge enough. So 6 power 3, there are 216 elements. 6 into 6 into 6, 216 elements. So it's not possible to write. We need only the number, just let it be 216. Then 4 appears on the third toss, that is E. This also a little bit of bigger numbers are there. Let's try to write E is equal to set 4 appears on the third toss. So third element is fixed 4. So 114, 124, etc. up to 164. Then 214 up to 264. Then 314 up to 364. Then 414 to 464. And finally up to 614 to 664. So these are E, elements of E, because E we need for writing E intersection F. For that purpose only we are writing E. Next F, 6 and 5 appears respectively on the first 2 tosses. So here first 2 elements 6 and 5, it is fixed, and only the third element we need to consider. That is F is equal to 6 and 5, first 2 elements. So 6, 5, 1, 6, 5, 2, 6, 5, 3, 6, 5, 4, 6, 5, 5, 6, 5, 6. Because a die is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 faces numbered 1 to 6. First 2 elements are fixed. Then P of F is equal to, there are 6 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements, and the total number of elements in the sample space is 216. So 6 divided by 216. E intersection F is, when you compare this one, 4 appears on the third toss, that is what this E. So 4 appears on the third toss means if you take E intersection F means that also will have 4 on the third. 4 appears on the third toss. That means this E intersection F element also will have 4 on the third toss. Means here when you check, there is only one element is having 4 on the third toss. That is 6, 5, 4. So this must be the common element. So you should have a little bit of common sense, because here we are not writing all the elements. So when you compare it, it is quite clear that E4 appears on the third toss, that is E. And E intersection F means in F also should have 4 on the third toss. So here when you check F set, there is only one element which is having 4 on the third toss, that is 654. So 654 is the common one. Then P of E intersection F is 1 divided by, there is only one element, total number of elements 216. P of E given F is equal to P of E intersection F by P of F. Substitute it, 1 by 16, 216 by 6 by 216. When you cancel 216 and 216, we will get the answer as 1 by 6. So the required probability is 1 by 6. Next we shall discuss question number 9. Question is, mother, father and son line up at random for family picture. E, son on one end, F, father in middle. So two events are given, E, son on one end, F, father in middle. So here M, F and S we can take. That is, let mother M, father F and son S line up for the family picture. Then the sample space will be M, F, S. Mother first, father in the middle, son at last. Again mother in the first, son is in the middle, father at last. Then father first, mother in the middle, son at last. Again father first, son middle, mother last. Again son first, mother middle, father last. Again son first, father middle, mother last. So sample space we can write as you wish, it's not a problem. So you have to keep your own idea while making the sample space. There is no rule that first one should be like this and second one should be like this. So you can arrange according to your convenience. E, sun on one end. So you can check this sample space and sun on one end. Here there is sun on end, that is MFS, and here also sun is on one end, that is FMS, and again here sun is in the first, that is SMF, and here also sun is at one end, that is in the first is SFM. Then F is father in the middle. Father in the middle means F middle coming means we can take, that is MFS we can take, and here the last one SFM, also father is in the middle. Then E intersection F, even you check, here MFS is there common and SFM also is there in common. So two elements, MFS and SFM. So P of E intersection F is equal to, there are two elements in E intersection F and a total 6 elements in the sample space. So 2 by 6, that is 1 by 3. Next one is P of F is having two elements, F is having two elements. So 2 divided by total elements in the sample space 6. So 2 divided by 6, that is equal to 1 divided by 3. So P of E given F is equal to P of E intersection F by P of F. That is equal to P of E intersection F is 1 by 3 divided by 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 by 1 by 3 is 1. So the required probability is 1. Next we shall discuss question number 10. The question is, a black and a red dice are rolled. Find the conditional probability of obtaining a sum greater than 9 given that the black die resulted in a 5. Second one, find the conditional probability of obtaining the sum given that the red die resulted in a number less than 4. Here two dice are rolling. First one is black and the second one is red we can consider. First one we can consider as black die and the second one we can consider as red die. So let's assume that let the first observation be from the black die and the second from the red die. And find the conditional probability of obtaining sum greater than 9. Sum greater than 9 in the sense sum should be 10, 11 or 12. So the maximum possibility is 12 while rolling a die, two dice. So 6 plus 6, 12 is the maximum possibility. So when two dice, one black and another one is red, are rolled, the sample space S is having 36 elements, 6 into 6, 36 elements. Here only number of elements is enough and we should be conscious enough to write the subset or the events. So that is enough, no need to write the entire elements in the sample space because 36 elements it takes time to write. So let A be the event obtaining a sum greater than 9. This is what the question, obtaining a sum greater than 9. So the possibilities are obtaining a greater than 9 in the sense 10 onwards. So 4 plus 6 is 10, then again 6 plus 4 also 10. Next is 11, 5 comma 6 is 11 and 6 comma 5 we can write. Again 10, one more chance is there, that is 5 comma 5. Next is 12, that is 6 comma 6, 6 plus 6 is 12. These are the possible outcomes. Then given that the black die resulted in a 5, black die in the sense the first one is black. So black die resulted in a 5. So first one is fixed, first one should be 5. So the possible outcomes are 5-1, 5-2, 5-3, 5-4, 5-5 and 5-6. So second one can be anyone and first one only fixed, that is 5. Then we can go for writing A intersection B. It is clearly visible, 5-5 is common and 5-6 also common. So A intersection B is 5, 5, 5, 6. Then P of A given B directly we can write. No need to go for calculating P of A intersection B and P of B because it is easy for us to calculate directly. So we can go direct calculation. So P of A intersection B. P of A intersection B means A intersection B is having two elements. So probability is 2 divided by total number of elements in the sample space, that is 36. P of B is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. So 6 divided by total number of elements 36. So let's substitute 2 by 36 by 6 by 36. Here 36 can be cancelled, 2 by 6 will be coming. Again 2 is common, when we cancel we will get us 1 by 3. So that is the answer for the first question. Then the second question, find the conditional probability of obtaining the sum 8. First one is sum 8. Sum 8 that we have taken as E. Then the possible outcomes are 2 6, 3 5, 4 4, 5 3, 6 2. These are the possibilities. When we add these two numbers, you will get 8. 2 plus 6 is 8, 3 plus 5 8, 4 plus 4 8, 5 plus 3 8, 6 plus 2 8. So possible outcomes we have written. Then condition is given to you, red die resulted in a number less than 4. Red die in the sense the second one. Second number is resulted in number less than 4, means second number should be 1, 2 or 3. That means F is red die resulted in a number less than 4, that we have assumed as F. The possible outcomes are, second numbers only we have to check. It should be 1, 2, 3. Less than 4 in the sense 1, 2, 3. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. Next is 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3. 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3. 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3. 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3. So only the second elements can be considered and first one can be any one. So these are the elements. Next, E intersection F, when we check, 5, 3 is common. Then 6, 2 is common. So these are the two elements. There is no other elements common. So E intersection F is set of 5, 3, 6, 2. So P of F is here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. 6 into 3. 18 elements divided by total number of elements in the sample space is 36. So 18 by 36. Why we are writing here P of F in the sense here number of elements are more. So that's why we are writing. Here it is very simple. That's why we didn't write. Then P of E intersection F is 1, 2. There are two elements. 2 divided by total number of elements 36. So 2 by 36. P of E given F is P of E intersection F by P of F when we substitute 2 by 36 by 18 by 36. That is equal to 2 by 18. 2 and 18 can be cancelled. That is 1 divided by 9. So the required probability is 1 divided by 9. Next we shall discuss question number 11. A fair die is rolled. Consider events E is equal to set 1, 3, 5, F is equal to set 2, 3 and G is equal to set 2, 3, 4, 5. Find first one P of E given F, P of F given E. Second one P of E given G and P of G given E. Third one P of E given P of E union F given G and P of E intersection F given G. So these questions you will try it as homework. Next we shall discuss question number 12. Assume that each born child is equally likely to be a boy or a girl. If a family has two children, what is the conditional probability that both are girls given that the youngest is a girl? Second question, at least one is a girl. Here question is, assume that each born child is equally likely. Equally likely in the sense equal chance, means 50-50 chance. Getting a boy and getting a girl, equal chances are there. If a family has two children, what is the conditional probability that both are girls? We have to find out the probability of getting both are girls. Conditions are youngest one is a girl, that is the first one. Second one, at least one is a girl. So let B and G represent the boy and girl child respectively, and in a family there are two children it is given to us. So the sample space will be both boys. First one is a boy and second one is a girl. First one is girl, second one is boy, both are girls. This is the sample space. And here both are girls. Let E be the event that both children are girls. That is what the probability we need to calculate. So we have taken that as E. E be the event that both children are girls. So both children are girls means this is the only one chance, that is G, G. First one also girl and the second one also girl, because there are only two kids are given in the condition. Then let E dash be the event that the youngest child is a girl. That is the first condition given to you. The youngest is a girl. Youngest is a girl in the sense it can be second one. So youngest one is girl in the sense second one is girl. So here G, so that means BG chances are there, and GG both girls means second one also girl only here. So BG and GG are the possibilities. So E intersection E dash. E intersection E dash in the sense there is only one element, that is G comma G. Probability of E dash we will calculate. There are two elements, so 2 divided by total number of elements in the sample space is 4, so 2 by 4, that is equal to 1 by 2. Next is P of E intersection E dash, that is E intersection E dash is having only one element, total number of elements in the sample space is 4, so 1 divided by 4. Conditional probability that both are girls given that the youngest child is a girl is given by youngest child is a girl. Youngest child is a girl in the sense that is E dash. So probability of E given E dash, that is what the notation. Probability of E given E dash is equal to P of E intersection E dash divided by P of E dash. We have calculated, that is 1 by 4 divided by 1 by 2. 1 by 4 divided by 1 by 2, when we calculate we will get the answer as 1 divided by 2. So the required probability is 1 divided by 2. Now we shall discuss the second part. Let A be the event that at least one child is a girl. So at least one child is a girl in the sense, let's recall the sample space BB, BG, GB and GG. At least one child is a girl. At least one child is girl in the sense minimum one girl. Even two also girl, it's not a problem. So here BB, both boys will be removed because we need a minimum one girl. Minimum one girl means here also one girl is there, here also one girl is there, here also one girl is there. Two girls are there, of course one girl is included. So this BB will be removed. So A, then in the first case there is E event we have already explained here, both are girls. E is G comma G. So these are the two things which we have taken from the previous slide. So here A, we can write the elements of A is BB removed because we want at least one girl child. So BG, GB and GG are the elements of A. Then as before, E intersection A we have to calculate. When we compare with E and A, GG is common. So G comma G is the common element. Then P of A we will write there are 1, 2, 3 elements. Total 4 elements in the sample space, so 3 divided by 4. Then P of E intersection A is, here there is only one element in E intersection A, 4 elements in the sample space, so 1 divided by 4. So the conditional probability that both are girls given that at least one child is a girl. At least one child is a girl means A. Both are girls we have taken as E in the previous slide. So E given A. Both are girls we have taken as E, given that at least one child is a girl, that we have taken as A. So probability of E given A. P of E given A is equal to P of E intersection A by P of A. Let's substitute it. P of E intersection A is 1 by 4 divided by P of A is 3 by 4. 4 and 4 can be cancelled and final answer is 1 by 3. Next we shall discuss question number 13. An instructor has a question bank consisting of 300 easy true or false questions, 200 difficult true or false questions, 500 easy multiple choice questions and 400 difficult multiple choice questions. If a question is selected at random from the question bank, what is the probability that it will be an easy question given that it is a multiple choice question? The question wordings are a little bit of confusing, so like LPP we have to summarize the given conditions in the question so that it will be easy for us to write the probabilities. Here there are two types of question they are telling, that is an instructor has a question bank consisting of true or false question and multiple choice questions. These are the two types of question, and the difficulty level is also 2, that is easy and difficult. So an instructor has a question bank consisting of 300 easy true or false questions, 200 difficult true or false questions, and 500 easy multiple choice questions and 400 difficult multiple choice questions. So if a question is selected at random from the question bank, what is the probability that it will be an easy question? Condition is given to us, it must be a multiple choice question. Let's summarize it. The given data can be represented as There are two types of question I told you before, true or false and multiple choice. So first one is true or false type, another one is multiple choice. Again, two categories are there, one is easy, another one is difficult. So easy and difficult. So first one, 300 easy true or false question. So 300 easy true or false question. Next is 200 difficult true or false question. 200 difficult true or false questions. Next one is 500 easy multiple choice questions. So here it is 500 easy multiple choice questions and 400 difficult multiple choice questions. Here it is 400 difficult multiple choice questions. So these are the given conditions. From here we can write down the total. So total easy questions 800, difficult questions 600. So altogether total 1400 questions are there. So this is what the question. This is very important. We have total 1400 questions. And let's assume the alphabet. Let E be for easy question, M for multiple choice question, D for difficult question, T for true or false questions. Then total number of questions, as I have explained to you before, total 1400 is there. Total number of multiple choice questions, we are having 900, because multiple choice question also here it is mentioned, so that total also we need to take, that is 900. So according to the question, what we have to calculate is what is the probability that it will be an easy question. It will be an easy question in the sense of probability of easy question, that is E, probability of E given it is a multiple choice question, that means M. So probability of E given M we have to calculate, that is what the formula we have to use. Probability of E given M is equal to, we know the formula, P of E intersection M divided by P of M. Here little bit of difference is there than the previous ones. We have to define this P of E intersection M. E intersection M in the sense easy multiple choice questions. E stands for easy, it is mentioned here, and M stands for multiple choice. So P of E intersection M in the sense easy multiple choice questions. So the probability of selecting an easy multiple choice question is, total number of question is 1400 and a multiple choice question, easy multiple choice question is 500 number. So 500, that is P of E intersection M is equal to 500 divided by 1400. So first part we have got. Once again, P of E intersection M in the sense E stands for easy, M stands for multiple choice. Intersection means and, easy and multiple choice. So selecting an easy multiple choice question is easy question 500, total number of questions 1400. So 500 divided by 1400. Next P of M. P of M stands for multiple choice questions. So probability of choosing a multiple choice question, selecting a multiple choice question, that is P of M is equal to multiple choice questions we are having total 900. So 900, total number of questions 1400. So 900 divided by 1400, when we cancel zeros we will get it as 9 divided by 14. Once again this part I will explain. What we have to calculate is the probability that it will be an easy question given that it is a multiple choice question. Easy question means E given M. So that is what we have to calculate, P of E given M. P of E given M formula is P of E intersection M divided by P of M. So E intersection M in the sense easy multiple choice question. So easy multiple choice question in the sense there are 500 easy multiple choice questions are there out of 1400 questions. So 500 divided by 1400, 5 by 14 is the answer. Then denominator is P of M. P of M in the sense multiple choice questions. So probability of getting a multiple choice question. So total 900 multiple choice questions are there out of 1400 questions. So 900 by 1400, cancellation, after cancellation we will get 9 by 14. So let's substitute it. Probability that a random selected question will be an easy question given that it is a multiple choice question. This is the sentence I have taken from the question, that is P of E given M, that is equal to P of E intersection by P of M, already explained here. Let's substitute it. P of E intersection M is 5 by 14 and P of M is 9 by 14. Cancellation 14 can be done. So the answer will come as 5 by 9. So the required probability is 5 by 9. Dear students, I request all the students to go through all the conditions and solve the questions independently in a sheet of paper. While solving, if you have any doubt, please note it and keep. We will discuss it during the discussion session. Thank you for watching.